Welcome back, everyone, to the St. Pete by Night Twitch stream where we play St. Petersburg by Night, a massive multiplayer 5th edition World of Darkness Chronicle set in St. Petersburg, Florida, including Vampire the Masquerade, including Hunter the Reckoning, and as for here on Rage Across Tampa, including Werewolf the Apocalypse. My name is Kent, also known as Mishikent on all social media, but what you really should follow instead of Mishikent is St. Pete by Night on all social media, which is listed down below. You can go follow us in all those amazing locations to stay up to date on all the amazing St. Pete by Night content, not just about Rage Across Tampa, though I'm partially biased to it being the best, but you can also get content about all of our other games here on the St. Pete by Night Twitch channel. And our schedule is getting fully loaded for this week. On Friday, we are going to have our Hunter the Reckoning story called What the Hell Is That? Starting on Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So tune in for that. But you can catch up on all of the old episodes of all of our various stories here on Twitch or over on YouTube. So go check those out and smash that follow button and subscribe button while you're at it. We really appreciate the support and it helps make this game possible. It wouldn't be a game, though, if it wasn't for our amazing players. So let's throw it over to our amazing players. Players, say hello and introduce yourselves.
Hey everybody, my name's Preston. I play Aiden Goodspeed, the Arun of the Gale Stalkers.
Hi everybody, I'm Champagne, Champ, Mr. Answer Man, Armpit Girl, whatever you want to call me. But I will be playing Aspen Wives, the Philodox of the Silver Fangs.
Hi everybody, I'm Nori. I will be playing Malicious Jester, the angry Black Fury Galliard.
Hi, I'm Simon. I will be playing Joseph Ashbeaker, the Theurge from the Ghost Council.
Well, if you haven't been keeping up to date on our story, you'll find out why Jester is particularly angry in a later segment tonight. The story has been one of many twists and turns, many victories and a few losses. However, the war doesn't stop. Regardless of victory or loss, it's battle by battle in an endless fight to save a dying Gaia, a dying planet that is overrun by corruption, disease, despair, and overall decay that just causes the world as we know it to rot. Unfortunately, we, as normal humans in this world, don't truly know it or the depths in which it goes. That is for the Guru, the soldiers of Gaia, those who are fighting that fight, that endless battle, a fate they may not be able to live to see the full potential of. Tonight's episode is entitled Girls' Night, because there are some very, very difficult conversations that need to take place. After Aspen went with Joseph to the jail to speak to the members of Stheno, didn't go quite as hoped. They got some useful information. They made contact with those that had been imprisoned for several months at this point, and it seemed like they were going to get the upper hand in this particular upcoming legal battle until Edward Bateman made his arrival on the scene. After a tense encounter between Aspen and Bateman, they parted ways. And then it was revealed in a press conference that one of the members of Stheno, Mia, admitted to having involvement in the explosion at the energy plant, that she had helped research and set up the whole thing and had given instructions to Jester to execute the attack. This puts a lot of heat on our beloved pack, as well as the members of Stheno who still haven't admitted to a crime they did not commit. And that is where our story leads tonight. But first, we begin with Joseph. Joseph, you were present at the encounter with Edward Bateman. How did Joseph feel walking away from that particular encounter, and what has his mind been kind of concerned with since?
The biggest thing in Joseph's mind from that whole encounter was what happened before we got to meet Bateman. Just being overwhelmed at the sight of such a stagnant and weaver touched place. That whole place was covered in spider spirits, which kept him distracted a good bit. When he finally got to meet Bateman, it was over way too quick. He normally is a little more defiant, a little more strong-willed, and the fact that Bateman just told him to leave is weighing heavy on him. He doesn't understand why that would have happened. Um, so he's thought a lot about that, as to why he thought it was a good idea, as to why he stepped outside into more spider spirits to watch the whole place churn with you know activity on that side as he was still looking over. So he needs some quiet to figure things out, and maybe some familiar activities like he used to do back home.
It's the plight of the theurge to have one foot in the normal world and the other foot in the spirit realm. You get to see not just the things we take for granted every day, but the effects and the way they take shape on the other side. So you go to seek some solace, some normalcy, some peace. Where are we tonight?
We're going back to not Lettuce Lake. What was the name of the lake?
Lettuce
I
Lake.
lost it. Okay.
Yeah, Lettuce Lake
Yeah.
Park.
Yeah, going back to Lettuce Lake Park to walk around the dock area where we passed over into the Umbra the first time together. And while walking there, Joseph wants to see if by chance he can catch Star again.
Okay. So what time of day would you be arriving at Lettuce Lake Park? When would you be going to hopefully have this chance encounter?
Twilight,
Twilight.
leaving as the sun's going to set, and then walk through at twilight, so there's still a bit of light to see without having to shift, and to see the first stars come out.
So with the daylight savings time change, the light lasts a bit longer. You can go a little bit later in the evening. So it's around 7:30, 8 o'clock at night when you make your way into Lettuce Lake Park. The park normally closing at dusk. You have found your way past the security booth and the various employees of the park, making your way deeper into the bowels and heading towards the observation tower aligned along the lake, the place where you stepped into the Umbra as a pack for the first time, the place where you fell and found an empty lake beneath you. But what you did find, instead of what you expected, was a purpose, a blessing from your various patrons, and a tear of Gaia, which you returned with in order to bring Eliza Ross back from the brink of Hirano. So, as you make your way along the trail, mostly kind of padded down earth, not lined with a lot of walkways or sidewalks as you go off the trail and onto kind of the uplifted wooden bridges that cross the marshy area heading towards the observation tower, there is a stillness. It's not silent. You can hear the sounds of nature around you on the boardwalk as you make your way, but it is calm. It is quiet. It is not nearly as noisy and distracting as the cityscape. You don't hear the honking of angry drivers or the sounds of people talking all around. Instead, you hear what has made you most comfortable throughout your life, the sound of nature. The chirping of crickets, the occasional movement of woodland creatures scurrying through the trees, the sound of water quietly lapping against the edge of the shore. As you approach the edge of the dock where the almost 3-story tall observation tower stands, all the other noises go silent. A sensation that was familiar to you the last time you visited here. You know you are near a place of power, an entrance point, a crossing over. But you also know that that particular entry point was slowly sealing and closing up. The Weaver working its typical machinations to ensure a complete cutoff between the spirit realm and the realm of man. As you get to the edge of the dock, looking out over the water, are you going to climb the observation tower, or are you going to stay kind of at ground level?
Given who I hope to see, I'll go up.
Okay. So climbing up the kind of aluminum or steel stairs, your boots clanking with each individual step as you make your way. You kind of curve around the first landing and make your way up to the second landing, where there's just kind of the open platform that looks off above some of the ground cover, above across the water. You can see a great deal of distance from here, and because the weather has tempered over the last week or so, you can see the sky. And as the last kind of glow of the sun fades, you can start to see the imagery of the stars kind of poking little pinpricks in the sky and emanating brightly from above. The scene is yours.
Oh, so Joseph will sit, dangle his feet off the end of the platform, as close as he can get, and just lean back, look up into the sky a little bit, take it in, listen to what noises are there, what wind is there, hoping maybe to hear some spring peepers.
Okay. Roll me a wits and awareness check.
Okay.
You've already been kind of soaking in the surrounds, but now you're really trying to attune your senses to anything else that might be about.
Three successes.
So as you try to kind of attune to nature again, being in this particular spot, you can't hear very much of anything. You know the noises are there. You know they should be around. But it's just quiet. Almost eerily quiet. And as you're kind of breathing in the noise and trying to kind of center yourself in the entire experience, you hear the sound of padding footfalls. The same kind of clunking noise that you heard going up the stairs, climbing towards the observation tower.
I'll slowly turn around and see if someone's walking up.
As you look to the stairs of the observation tower, there's no one there. No movement. No sounds. No present being, at least not that you can currently see.
Okay. I'll take a deep breath, close my eyes tightly, activate penumbral senses, and open them again.
Okay, so I believe that requires a willpower expenditure.
Yep. I'll spend
And
one
what is the
willpower,
dice pool?
and I'll use intelligence and my wisdom.
Intelligence and your wisdom. Okay, so go ahead and make the roll when you're ready.
Okay, so target number is the local gauntlet rating. I currently have 2, but I am willing to spend a willpower.
You might want to spend that willpower. The gauntlet has grown thicker since your last arrival here.
That puts me at 3.
3 successes is the difficulty. So as you kind of blink your eyes a few moments, the kind of same photo negative laid over a photo imagery kind of takes hold. As you can see, much as it is now, the observation tower, instead of having metal, kind of bent metal and wood to construct it, it instead looks like it's got a glaze of web over each individual bar, kind of bound together and tied. You can see the webs on the rooftop above the observation tower seem to be a scramble or a mix of these kind of webs all coming together. It takes a moment to adjust, seeing both at the same time, kind of one overlaid on top of the other, before you notice the dark shadow upon the staircase. It seems to have the vague outline of a human, potentially, but there are no features to behold. It seems that there is something there that isn't there, something that's incomplete, kind of lingering atop, or at least at the landing of the stairs on the same level as you.
Hello, I hope I'm not disturbing you.
The shade kind of shifts slightly, as if recognizing the source of sound coming from your direction. But it starts kind of moving towards you, approaching in a kind of steady rhythmic motion, moving towards you and towards the edge of the platform. As it draws closer, the air starts to grow cold. Almost a deathly, icy cold. You can feel it, and it's not the wind, and it's certainly not the changing of temperature, as you can still feel the heat of the evening air on your back. But as it grows closer to the front, you can almost feel goose flesh start to cover your arms, and you can kind of feel yourself starting to shake ever so slightly, with shivers passing through your body.
I'll step to the side, away from the edge, so that as it comes forward, if it continues in a straight line, I'll be off and let it go into the straight line.
Okay.
But so I'll move to the side so it can't push me into the water. And then just kind of quietly bow. I sincerely hope I'm not interrupting anything.
As you hoped, stepping off to the side, it doesn't seem to turn to match where you're headed. It instead moves up to the edge of the railing. These kind of almost like serpentine stalks break off of the shadowy mass. And as they reach for the railing, you can almost see that they take almost like a hand-like fashion or an arm. They grasp onto the railing and kind of lift themselves up onto the edge until this shadowy apparition seems to be standing on the railing itself. It pauses, and then it kind of turns to look at you, and these like little pinpricks of light kind of emerge where you expect eyes to be. It turns until its back is facing out to the water, extends its arms out to the side, and falls off of the edge. And in one sense, you see a splash, but in the other, the water is still and unmoving.
I'll go to the edge and see if there's anything in that splash.
There doesn't appear to be anything at all.
I can't go tonight. I can't go alone in this place. Aiden would kill me.
Silence
Sit back
reigns
down.
again, lingering in the air. No source of sound, only what you see encompassing. You can see that the lake that was just simply small puddles before seems to have grown to about an ankle high kind of pool of water that seems to encompass the bottom of the bedrock of the lake itself. It is filling in. Not very quickly by any means, but considering it's been months since you were last here, that's progress.
Doing something right. So I sit back down on the edge, look up at the stars. You know, I could use a friend. This place is still heavy. But this is where we met a friend once. I don't know if you're still here, if your phases have changed, if you've moved to another trail, but if you're here, Star, it would be nice to see you again.
Go ahead and roll me a charisma and manipulation plus either persuasion or occult. I'll give you the choice.
I will use occult. Can I use my Umbra specialization?
You sure can.
Thank you. I'm being charismatic, not manipulative.
I had a feeling.
Oh heck, I really want this to happen. I'm spending another willpower.
A great deal of
Worth it.
intention behind your words.
Absolutely worth it. That's 5 successes.
So as you call out, your words kind of projecting and almost echoing again on one sense, but not on the other. Echoing off the walls of the bedrock of the empty but full lake in front of you. You kind of see the stars above slowly start to twinkle and pulse ever so slightly. Kind of almost reverberating at your words in the same cadence you would use like a sound bar on an editor's kind of suite. You can see them pulsing in the rhythm of your words. And then, like a star shooting out of the sky, one of the stars detaches itself from the sky and starts to kind of fall downwards towards the earth, almost in like a slow free fall, along kind of glittery tail emanating from behind it. And you can see that it seems to be falling towards the opposite side of the lake where the tree stands.
I will absolutely get up and follow that trajectory, walk around the lake.
Okay. So making your way around the lake, you kind of have to be mindful because your senses are very deceiving right now. In one side, the lake is empty. You could simply make a straight cross. But on the other, you know it is still very much full of water, and you would be swimming if you were to try and make that effort. So you kind of pass around the lake. The lake isn't extremely large, considering the other bodies of water nearby, but it does take you a good bit of time. And by the time you reach the opposite side of the lake, the bank where the tree stands, the star has disappeared from the sky, but there is a very, very kind of condensed glow coming from the tree. And as you approach, you can see what looks to be Spanish moss has been almost tied into a slight swing set of sorts, and you can see the glowing entity kind of swinging back and forth in the Spanish moss. It studies you as you grow near, and you can see it takes more of like a human form to the point that it is a tiny, tiny, tiny little humanoid entity kind of radiating the light that's swinging back and forth, its legs kicking out merrily with each swing forward. Hi!
Star, it's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too. You're, Joseph.
Yes, Joseph.
Joseph. Oh, Joseph. Joseph. Hi.
Hi.
It's a beautiful night.
It is. It's not one to be alone on.
No, I'm glad you called.
I'm
What
glad
can
you were
I
able
do
to
for
answer.
you?
Nothing, really. I wanted to thank you and to tell you what happened when we got home.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I never get to hear about what happens when they leave. I just hear what happens when they're here and that they're looking for something and that they want something and then they just go away. But yes, what was it like on the other side?
It was sad at first. Uh, we took the tear back to our friend Eliza. Um, and the news that she got and how we found the tear hurt her a little, to be honest. But it was a hurt she was putting off for a long time. So, because she was able to face it, she has started to heal. She has come out of the darkness that was holding her. She has been teaching us, me especially, a lot. And we can see a big improvement in her. So it worked, and it was wonderful to have help along the way.
So as you talk about the first half of your story, you can see like her what would be a lower lip kind of extend out in a big pout like, but then as it changes to the happier section, you can see that lip kind of suck right in instantly and a big smile break across her face. And as you finish the story, she starts clapping, but forgetting that she's still on a swing, she comes toppling backwards out of the sling like whoop, and then just starts falling towards the ground and plops at the roots of the tree.
Are you all right, Star?
Oh, yeah, silly me. I forgot to hold on. Um,
Gravity's weird on this side of
it's
this close.
so weird. Like I'm used to just floating and seeing everything from above, and we don't really move. We just kind of are still up there. That's why I really like coming down here, because when we come down here, I get to move and I get to do more than just kind of hang out and wait for orders. So this is great. But I'm so happy to hear that it went so well. And she's doing better. She's fixed.
She's healing. I don't know if any of us will ever be fixed, but she's absolutely healing, and time will hopefully continue to help her heal.
Well,
We've
we
started.
really like her up there, so it's nice to hear that she's doing better. We've missed talking to her.
I'm hoping she'll start talking again soon. I'm hopeful. We actually, she and I have been working really hard to renew the cairn to the south.
What is it?
That's
What is it that you people say? If you enjoy what you do, you never work a day of the week.
yes, that's pretty good. Um, and it's enjoyable work. Uh, it is good to do.
So what kind of work are you doing? It seems like there's a lot of digging and a lot of picking up trash and a lot of kind of
Yes,
wandering around and telling kids to get off the lawn.
yes, yeah. We've been doing a lot of cleanup. There's been some neglect of that space. So we're trying to pick up after that and make things better that way. But we also have to worry about this side,
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
umbral
yeah, it was
side.
bad over here. Although it's getting better. Do you see the water?
Yes, it
Can I
was
go
very
for a
exciting to see
swim?
that. I, not right now. I just saw something jump in the water that didn't feel as friendly as
Oh,
you. So I don't
oh,
know that
you
it's the
saw
safe.
them.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. They're they're kind of residents, I guess is the word. They live in the
yeah.
park. Well, they did and do and kind of. They're well, they used to be like
Shadows.
you.
Yeah, yeah. I think I understand. Um,
There's a lot of them.
yeah, yeah. That doesn't surprise me. But let's not dwell on that too long. Um, yeah,
Have you
we
seen the
were doing a
bird?
lot. No, I haven't seen a bird yet.
Oh, there used to be a bird that lived there. He was kind of cranky and asked a lot of questions and was kind of like, well, they thought he was helpful. He hasn't been there in a long time, though.
Hopefully he comes back. We could use more. But yeah, we've been doing a lot of even sorting rocks and making sure the flow is good and those kind of things. Getting rid of some of the little red um, angry things that I saw the first time I visited.
Hmm. The
So,
weeds.
it's slow and steady work, but it's good.
Well, that's good. The other people who do the work don't seem to like it.
No, they're not. They don't get to see the rewards the way I do. So I kind of have to convince them with more vague descriptions of what they're doing. They
Yeah.
won't understand what we know.
I feel like they do this weird. Okay. Why? I have a question. Why do there appear to be people like you, but not like you because you're special? You can talk to me and you can come over here. But why do they like to take lawn clippings and light them on fire and ingest them? Because that's what the other workers do when you're working.
Yeah, I know. That's okay. So those lawn clippings are a medicine of sorts.
Why do you burn
They,
medicine? Isn't medicine supposed to make you feel better?
yeah, one of the ways you can get the spirit of that medicine into you and in a way that the physical body can use is to break it down. And you can break it down with fire. So you
Oh.
break it down into a simpler part, you breathe in the smoke, and that allows you to use that part of the medicine. I do the same thing in stepping over. When I step over into the completely, I use different medicines and different plants to wake me up in a way, but I have to burn it and breathe in the smoke.
Oh, smoke just makes me cough, especially the ones from the big towers you have
Oh,
over there that
that's a
just kind of like
different
that.
smoke. Yeah, that smoke is more wormy, to be honest. Um, Fire is a little bit of that destruction, but it's cleaner. It's not as corrupted.
Huh.
So what those big pillars do is more corrupted and more unclean compared to just fire.
Well, I hope they feel better. They must be really sick because they do it a lot.
Yeah, sometimes it helps with things here or things of the heart, and sometimes they're just bored and people do it more than they probably should. Medicine can be good or bad.
Oh. Well. Okay. Um.
I know
So
it's a lot.
eh, humans do a lot of weird things. We see most of
Yes.
them. Um. Okay. So it sounds like things are going really well. So why are you sad? Or angry? Is it sad or angry? I don't know. The
No,
lips just go like this.
you're right the first time. And it's not sad directly. Um, I'm lonely, to be honest. I came from a much more active place when I first woke up to this form. And a lot of people talked about this side of things, talked about spirits and beings like you. Um, and it doesn't happen down here as much. There's only a few of us. Um, and I'm Eliza and I are the Theurges, and Eliza's still waking up again. So it's a little different. I mean, I have stuff in common with the pack. They're wonderful, but I really miss running through the Umbra, and it's not safe here. I can't just step over and go for a run. I miss the sound of some of the birds and the squirrels and the
Why
barn
didn't-
owls.
Why didn't you run when you went to the other place?
We were busy.
You were very, very far away. I had to go like this. and
Yeah,
kind of
we
squint
had a
to see you. You were so far. There were
we had
mountains.
we had a job to do, and my pack needed me to keep an eye on them. We didn't really have the time for just a run. I had a lot of time before I was called down here. Well, I had not a lot of years, but a lot of freedom to do those things back then.
Humans always talk about time so much. What time is it? What time do we eat? What time's... You have more time than you think. And time works
Yes.
differently here.
Yeah, time works a little more linearly here. We don't
It's a
have
big
billions.
Linear.
Like light
Oh,
goes.
okay. Ah, yes. I understand.
We don't get to meander and move around like water or wind. Our experience goes like light.
Why?
I don't know. It just is what it is.
Well, there's another human expression I've heard. Be the change that you want to let her see.
If I could reshape space and time and meander through it, I would. Some things are beyond the change we want to see in the world. So I make the little changes I can, like working on the cairn and the memorial gardens.
Well, maybe you can't run like you used to, but maybe you can find a quiet place that you can just sit over there, over here, over there. You're kind of in both. It's very weird. Like I see you, but I don't see you, but I see you.
Yes, I've turned my eyes on so that I can see both, and it kind of slips me in the middle.
Oh, okay. So you're like here and not here. Okay.
I am peeking through.
Right. That's why you can see me, because I can always kind of see you. But okay. I understand. But yeah, your people have places like that.
That's what we're building. There isn't one right now that's safe.
Oh,
We're working on that down at the gardens, and hopefully, if that one gets set up, I'd like to rebuild this one. I
been a
can
long
tell this
time.
used to be. I think Eliza said something about this used to be. We have to clear out or help the things on the tower.
Yeah, there was a group, the bird group that lived here before. I think they were called the Emeralds or the Ferns. I don't remember what they were called. But they were here. They were nice, a little weird at times, but
So,
nice.
what was the bird their patron?
Yes.
Okay.
He was kind of their bird. He'd stayed in the area primarily, and he would just kind of like, they'd come to him and be like, "Oh, my human problems," and he would be like, "Is it really a problem?" And they'd be like, "Yes," and he'd be like, "Well, what do you think you should do?" And they'd be like, "Probably this," and he'd be like, "Then why did you bother me? Get off my lawn." Kind of like
That
you
sounds.
with the kids at the park.
Yeah, that sounds about like a patron. We're gonna need a patron.
Well, I could ask some people, but it's mostly other ones like me up there.
I have an idea, but I'll need to talk to the pack.
Okay.
But I may be talking to you again soon with an important question.
I like that. It's nice to see you. It's been a long time, Joseph.
It's been a while. I have no idea how long it's been for you, but it's been a while for us.
I don't know either. As for feeling alone, you're never really alone. Like, I can always see you, even when you're sleeping. I see you. And I'm always just kind of like, hi, Joseph.
Yeah, I keep the window open.
And you have your friends, the ones I met last time.
Yeah.
And I think there are more of you there than you think there are.
I think so too. We've got a hint on one.
So maybe you won't be lonely for very much longer.
Keep our fingers crossed.
I want you to be happy, Joseph. Joseph. I want you to be happy. Because things are getting better.
They are.
It's not
I can
as
see it.
it's not as dreary up there and not as angry down here. And the water.
Oh, the water's coming back. It looks significantly better than when we first landed in it.
Whatever you're doing, keep on keeping on.
I will. Definitely. Okay, I should probably start heading back. I'm sure they're gonna worry if I disappear in the woods for too many nights.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you came for a visit. It was nice to catch up. And I look forward to talking to you very soon. And when you go to your beddy buys, just remember that I'm saying good night, Joseph. Sleep well.
I'll remember. I'll say goodnight too.
Okay.
I get. All right. It's good seeing you.
And she kind of gets up and starts clambering up the tree. And as she gets up to the kind of branches that reach out, you can see one of the brown branches kind of bounce several times before she just leaps off and goes kind of shooting up into the sky until she's just barely, like all the others, a pinprick of light on the horizon.
I will make a very detailed mental note of which constellation she sits in when she goes up, so that I can keep track of it. I turn off penumbral senses so I can more safely walk home and head out.
Okay, so as you turn off your senses, darkness kind of pulls in a little bit more, especially with the overgrowth of the trees above as you make your way down the path and through the park. Passing back out of the borders of the park, you can see the last employees, other than those who, kind of maintain nighttime security, heading off for the evening. What is Joseph feeling now compared to when he arrived?
More hope. Some satisfaction. Definitely warmer. Seeing a familiar new face. And he's got a big question to ask the pack. So he's hopeful about it. He has a gut feeling, but he's hopeful. But he's still not sure.
Okay. And with that, we'll transition over to Aiden. Aiden, you know Aspen has a particularly difficult conversation to have with Jester, and you know that being the leader, it's something that she needs to do alone, to take that burden of responsibility. Something that kind of sits uneasy with you because the pack always moves together. They face all challenges together, but she said she was going and that you couldn't, and you respect that. because she is your alpha. So instead, two lonely boys on a particularly unusual night find themselves spending time together as you are at Artie's apartment, the one that he shares with Jester currently. Artie has kind of wheeled out a television and has hooked up some sort of device to the TV with these long cables that come out, and he put this like piece of plastic in your hands. Now, for our audience, they would recognize it as a Nintendo 64 with controllers and a very kind of 16-bit James Bond on the screen. Okay, so what you have to do, Artie says, as he kind of points towards the screen, the left stick is going to help you move forward and backward. The right stick is going to help you move what you're looking at. And then you press the trigger button to shoot your gun. Do you understand?
Hold on. Okay. This one, you'll point to the left, moves.
Yeah, it's like
I
walking
move-
forward, backward.
I move this. I move. Then this one
Okay.
over here.
To repeat, you don't get up and move when you push the stick. The person on the screen is going to move.
Okay.
So you
but
stay seated, but you're going to see the screen start to move. You're going to see that little gun start to move forward like you're walking in a hallway, okay? But you don't have to get up and move.
Okay. And when looking around, I don't look.
No, you don't look.
I-
You can keep looking at the screen. The screen is going to move like it's looking.
Okay.
God,
And
my
then-
brother got it faster than this. Okay. Yes.
I'm sorry. This is
it's
weird.
It's all right. It's all right. I know. I'm glad you're wearing pants, okay? You've made so much progress.
Thank
So, okay. Yeah, so the left stick makes you move. The right
Okay.
stick is going to move the camera around. And then
Right.
that little trigger on the right hand is
Okay.
going to shoot the gun. Okay?
All right. Let's just try it. We'll see what happens.
Okay. So, Aiden, I want you to roll me a wits and technology roll.
Oh my god. One.
Okay, so you move. You move. You've kind of got the camera looking up and down. And you walk out of the hallway where these two kind of, again, 16-bit guards turn and kind of point these weird-looking guns at you and start shooting. As you are attempting to kind of figure out what to do, you find yourself looking straight at the ground and just firing at the ground until several shots hit you and a red kind of blur comes down across the screen.
Why did the screen? I was shooting, but
Because you were looking at the floor.
well, the
You
floor's
know
not where
what?
the people were, though.
No, it's not. But hey, you made it out of the hallway this time. Maybe 17th tries the charm. But do you want to drink a beer or something? And he kind of
No, beer's gross. I had one, and it was disgusting. Absolutely not.
What about a soda? You want to try soda?
Sure.
Okay, I got soda. He kind of walks over to the vending machine and kind of scans across all of the energy drink buttons. No, absolutely not. No. Okay, and he pushes a button that says cola, and you hear this like ka-chunk as a can rolls down to the bottom. He pulls it out. Okay. I'm gonna put it in a cup for you because I think the can might be.
I can open it.
It's not about open. Oh, you know what? Yes, you can. And he kind of walks over and hands you the can. Although on his way, you can kind of see him shaking a little bit. It's so exciting for you to try this right now. And he puts it in your hand.
All right. It's closed. Like there's There's no. You just twist. And you'll grab onto the top of it and just try and twist the top of it.
Oh, no. This is what they call a pop top. So you see that little tab with the ring? You need to grab the top of that, and you want to make sure you're looking dead on at it. You want to make sure you're not going to mistake in any way where the top of the can is, and then you just want to pull that little tab back, and it's going to pop a little hole in it.
So point it
at your face.
Point it at your face. Got it.
Yep, make sure, because you don't want to lose sight of the top of the can, or else it's going to go spilling everywhere.
Well, we don't want that.
No, we don't.
Okay. So grab the little.
Yep, and then this is
O-shaped
so much
thing.
simpler than GoldenEye. Just give it a shot.
He's gonna put his finger in it and then just yank on it.
So as you pop the top, immediately this kind of geyser of foam just sprays directly into your face. And Artie just immediately falls out laughing.
This seems like a weird thing to drink.
How's it taste?
Not bad. Not the worst thing. Is this how you normally supposed to do it?
Every single time.
Every time?
Every
Okay.
time. That's the only way to experience it. As many times as possible, in fact.
So you just
You
okay.
just give it a good shake, pop that top, and just ready your mouth for the explosion of joy coming out.
Is that what you call it? Just call it the explosion of joy?
Yes. Yes, in fact, next time you see Aspen, tell her you would like an explosion of joy in your mouth.
And that's what this is called? Okay. Yeah, I can do
That's
that.
what it's called. He walks back over to the kitchen and grabs some paper towels, kind of comes over and starts dabbing at the foam that has kind of soaked you and the couch next to you.
It's sticky.
Explosions of joy usually are.
Huh.
So, how do you think they're doing?
Let's just hope they don't kill each other. As he's kind of like setting the can down.
Yeah, I hope that too. I don't really like that she went by herself, but
I tried talking to her about it.
She's getting more confident, so I think she'll be able to at least hold her own if things go bad. But also, I'm not worried that Jester's going to hurt her. Jester, for all that she is, and for all the righteous fury that she has right now with all of this, she knows what we're doing is important. I don't know how much she's willing to sacrifice for this. I don't want to see her end up like Ryder. I don't want to see her end up like Eliza was. But I also get it. I get why you would be angry.
Yeah.
How
Well,
did you deal with everything with your family? And I mean, I saw the outside, but we never really got to talk about what was going on with you.
I'm still dealing with it, to be honest. There's times where I have questions on whether I've made the right choice, but talking about it with everyone has helped, kind of resetting where my thoughts should be. And I think this talk with Jester, regardless of how they feel right now, eventually will help. It's gonna suck right now. You ever step on a really sharp rock, like barefoot or anything?
Yeah.
And it's really uncomfortable and it's inconvenient and it's just really bad starting out. But if you apply a little bit of pressure to it and then start massaging that area, give it that little bit of time, it starts to feel better and eventually kind of goes away. That's kind of what it's like. It's like just this pain, but eventually it goes away. You don't forget it. Like I still remember what it feels like to step on sharp rocks. I still know what it feels like to have to dealing with the whole family thing.
Dude, wait until you get a pebble in your shoe for the first time. Fucking agony.
That
Just every step, it's in there and it's jabbing you in the foot, and you don't want to stop to take your shoe off to shake the pebble loose because you got to get somewhere quickly. Or business, and it just moves around. Sorry, I'm getting off track.
but no, that I haven't had a pebble in my shoe, but that does sound awful.
It's
But
not
I also
great.
I don't like shoes to begin with. I think they're stupid.
Me neither.
Or clothing.
Jester insists that I at least wear socks in the house.
It's your house.
Nothing's really mine anymore. It's ours. And I'm good with that. I've wanted there to be a ours for a very long time. So
When you mean ours, who are you talking about ours about? You'll kind of look him dead in the eye.
he kind of shifts his gaze off slightly. The pack, of course.
Oh, yeah. I'm not totally oblivious to mating rituals. Humans
All
is
right,
weird.
you really can't call it mating. You know what? Call it mating rituals to everyone except me. But
So
no, you know
what
what?
do you
Don't call it mating.
what do you
rituals.
call it? Because that's what it seems like. Yes, humans take forever.
Dating. We call it dating. In the ye olden times, they would have called it courtship, but dating.
Like basketball?
What?
Court? Don't they
No,
play? And
oh
then isn't
no,
that what that is?
no. Like royal courts, like kings and queens. They have their courts. You know how
Oh,
we call it packs? They
yeah.
call it courts, and it's like courtship is a fancy way of saying dating. It's like dating with manners and a lot less apps.
So is your intention to do the mating with, or the dating that I've heard about is like some of these people say they're gonna do stuff, but then don't, and then it doesn't end well.
I really like her. And having somebody who gets you, like all of you, not just the human shit, not just the werewolf shit, but gets all of it. I'd like to say I'm seeing where it goes, but yeah, I hope so. Not 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 the mate. Well, okay, maybe a little, but not just the mating ritual, but like the bond that's established, the connection. Like
Right.
that's what are we living for if not to have moments like that and to be able to enjoy them? That's kind of like our reward for all of this. It's something to make us feel normal in a very not normal situation, and I haven't had a normal since before my change. So it'd be nice to have something that feels normal.
And it feels normal with Aspen.
Feels better than normal. It feels best. You know that feeling you get when you're able to run without a whole bunch of buildings in the way and without having to like make sure nobody sees you and not having like when you go on your hunts, that thrill, that feeling.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like every second.
If you hunt and hurt Aspen, I will kill you.
I'm not gonna hunt and hurt. No, I mean before the attacking, before like
Oh,
just that
okay.
that thrill, that excitement of running through the woods, of not being leashed or collared or having to answer to anybody or having to run from anything.
Freedom.
That you just get to run. Yeah, it feels like freedom. We have to we have to cage ourselves a lot. You know this as well. Like, you have to always kind of keep things locked up inside, and you have to always be on your best behavior, and you have to be careful of what you talk about and to whom, and where you can change and not change. And it feels like not having to do any of that, that I don't have to pretend to be something. I don't have to pretend to be just a normal human, and I don't have to pretend to be a mentoring werewolf who's seen the wisdom of, 10 years since the change. Like, no, I just get to be Arthur.
Yeah.
It's really nice. So yeah,
She is very special, and she is one of the good ones, one of the best humans I've ever come across. I have a very strong protective thing over her, which I can't really explain. I feel like if something were to happen to her, I feel a need to take care of that.
I feel the same way. She's our alpha to me also, and I will die before I make sure anything let anything happen to her.
Good. Good. I felt like that needed to be talked about. I just felt like a gut feeling that just like sat and felt weird that I had to say something.
No, I get it. It's instinctual, but when you come from the human side of things, there's a lot of other shit up there. Like, for
You guys got too
you,
many feelings.
yeah, you got to just let nature do all the work. Let your instincts guide you. With us, we're taught doubt, we're taught second guessing, we're pressured into overanalyzing and overthinking. Human life is so full of anxiety and stress and expectations. So I'm glad you did say it, because I feel it, but I'm also human. I was born a human. So yeah, I'm glad you checked. It doesn't come as easily to some of us as it does to you. And that's why I'm really glad you're here. That's why I'm really glad you're in this pack, and you have a way of seeing things that none of the others of us do. And we need that. We need
I
you.
do. I do what I can.
So, Kinseeker, you want to give another shot to trying to check in on our friend? Our new friend, our future friend?
Yeah, I kind of know how to. I need stuff that smells really bad, actually.
I might have just the thing for you.
Yeah, it's coffee, the
Yep, got coffee.
poop from the bottom of a boot.
Why don't we try dirt this time? Just on a lark. If it doesn't work, we're experimenting. If you
Okay.
really need poop, I'm sure I could get some. There's a lot of dogs in this apartment complex, but let's try dirt.
Okay.
I think Jester's already going to have one reason to be mad at me, and he kind of looks over towards the wet, damp couch. But we'll start with dirt.
Okay.
Okay.
That and then I need leaves, dried leaves.
I got you covered. And he kind of stands up from the couch and makes his way over to the kitchen and kind of opens up some cabinets, and he pulls down what looks to be a coffee can with like a lid on it. He pulls that down. And then he reaches up and pulls out this kind of aluminum box that's kind of got like one of those latches that lifts up. And as he kind of sets it on the counter and opens the latch, he pulls out a little plastic baggie, which looks to have like several dried herbs, kind of plants that have been shrunk down and dehydrated in little balls inside, and shakes it a few times. Yeah, sets that down. And then reaches up to another cabinet and says, "Does it have to be leaves?"
They're called I don't know. It looked like tiny dried crumpled leaves.
Yeah, I'm sure this will work. And he reaches up and pulls out a little kind of like box with a little flap on it, and several papers and sheets kind of come out, and he just drops that down on the table. Takes up the belongings, brings them over to the coffee table and sets it down, and then walks over and grabs one of his boots from beside the door, and I'm sure this is fine. And walks over and sets that in front of you. So now what?
Do you have fire?
Yes.
I have to put this into the metal bowl, and then I have to put it all in there and then burn it, and then I have to get this place really smoky, and then I have to breathe that in and then empty my mind.
Nice. He walks back into the kitchen and kind of opens up the cabinets beneath. I'm sure a pot'll work. And he kind of grabs one of the small kind of pots for the stove and brings it over and sets it down, and let's have a clam bake.
Eat. We're doing the kin thing.
Yeah, let's have a kin bake.
Okay. He'll take all the stuff and he'll drop it in there, and then he'll take his hand to try and like mush it all together.
Or he just kind of watches, like absolutely entertained and fascinated.
I think it was something from me. He'll take one of his hairs and he'll yank it out of his head and he'll drop it in there. Like, I think that was part of it. He'll reach forward and grab one of Artie's.
Ah, shit.
I don't remember all of it. I don't know, and he'll drop it in there. Okay.
At least it wasn't a whole. Okay.
Now I need fire.
Artie kind of fishes around in one of his pants pockets and pulls out one of those lighters that kind of emits one of those blue flames from the trigger button. This should work.
Aspen told me I'm not allowed to play with fire anymore.
So you want me to... Okay. He kind of picks up the pot that just starts burning the contents of the pot inside until an odorous smoke starts to emanate. Go ahead and give me a stamina and wits roll.
4?
Okay. So, as you kind of feel the smoke start breathing it in, it has a very like herbal, intense herbal smell to it. And you kind of feel your lungs start to like burn ever so slightly, and you want to cough, but you're so focused on the effort that it doesn't get to the point of hacking, and you are able to maintain your composure and your kind of awareness. So now go ahead and make your kin-seeking roll.
Okay. That is my wisdom plus my investigation, which is a... And you said I get to add my what was it? My tribe attribute to this because I am specifically
Yes, I
looking.
will let you add your tribe favor to this of being able to find a specific quarry.
Cool. Can I burn a willpower?
Yes.
Sweet. Four.
Okay. So as you continue to breathe in the smoke, making sure to kind of dull all your senses as best as possible, although this time it feels a lot quicker than the last time. Whatever this concoction is, you feel your senses becoming numb and a slight tingling in your face as you kind of lounge back onto the couch. And then amidst the din, amidst the smoke, a scent hits your nose. You're sure that if you followed it, it's a familiar scent at this point, having done this ritual with Eliza a few times, you recognize that that is in fact Terrence's scent. And you feel very confident that were you to follow this scent, it would lead you directly to Terrence. Right now, it seems to be heading, kind of coming from further into downtown, or further north, where the university is kind of located, a place that you've sensed him several times in the interim. And then another scent hits you. And another. And another. Several more new odors hit your nose. But these odors seem to be gathered together somewhere to the east. They are all coming from the same direction. And they all seem to be in the same general area.
Artie, something's weird this time.
Yeah, man, just ride with it. It's totally cool. You just
not-
gotta stay still. Don't shake around too much. You'll be fine.
Artie, it's not one, there's four.
What do you mean there's four?
Meaning I can sense one. I know where one's at. There's three others due east. They're pretty far, but there's three additional. That's four. Yeah, four now.
Four? What do you want to do?
I'd
Want to follow it?
Yeah, the one up north. That's Terrence for sure. Uh, is your car still here?
No, Jester took it to the meetup.
You think you can keep
Wait,
up?
okay, hang on. Maybe we should think about this. One, we just took a shit ton of drugs. Two,
Drugs?
we just did a shit ton of kin baking.
Oh, okay.
Two, maybe we should talk to Aspen first. You can see them for a while afterwards, right? Like you can follow that scent for a while afterwards.
Kinda. It's weird. I haven't sensed three at a time before, or even more than one.
Well, if they're close, or if they're getting close, maybe we'll be able to pick up the scent again. But I think we should probably err on the side of caution. If we go chasing down something and we're not ready for whatever it is, she's gonna be fucking pissed. She's already having a bad day, I guarantee it. This would only make the day worse, so
We should just see our faces and she'd be fine.
before the punches started, yeah, I'm sure she
It's-
would, but
It's just Aspen. They don't hurt.
Speak for yourself. Okay. Yeah, all right. Let's see if we can find it. Fuck it.
If we're gonna have to hoof it, or yeah,
I'll
hoof it's a
be
term.
fine. Pup.
Alright.
I
Alright,
know the
keep-
city's better than you anyway.
Keep up, old man.
Mm-hmm. So with that, you both kind of push yourself up off the couch, which feels a lot harder than normal. Like you feel like you just want to kind of sink into the couch cushions, but you take that extra effort to kind of spring up. And as you make your way towards the door, Artie opens it, and both of you begin to change into your lupus forms, dropping down onto all fours, the exposed flesh being replaced by swaths of fur, your senses growing a little sharper, though unusually dulled still for you, despite the change. Everything feels a little bit hazy, and your eyes feel like they're vibrating, but you kind of drop down onto all fours, claws replacing hands. Artie dropping down behind you in a shaggy maned kind of street mutt looking form, big tangles and kind of knots of hair hanging off of his physique, and you make your way out into the night. The scent is strongest after the ritual is performed, so I'm not even going to make you roll as you initially kind of start making your way out into the city streets. Go ahead and roll me a dexterity and stealth, which is normally a +2, but I'm going to make it a +1 in this case because your senses are a little bit altered at the moment.
3.
Okay. With 3 successes, you kind of pad out into the darkness of the night, kind of moving your way out of the apartment complex and down the city streets. Artie occasionally kind of redirects you, taking lead since he knows the neighborhood well, and kind of takes you to some of the shortcuts, starting to teach you the directions around the area of best points of entry and exit. As you continue along, you kind of start making your way neighborhood after neighborhood, kind of moving around the skirting through the city, when a very strong odor kind of hits your senses. But this odor isn't the odor of a kin. It isn't the odor of, other guru or prey. Instead, it's the odor of slow roasted meat as you pass by the back of a barbecue joint. The smell of the meat combined with the altered state you're in causes your mouth to start to water slightly. Go ahead and roll me a composure and resolve check. But again, I'm going to add a -1 to this because your altered state is kind of all-encompassing and affecting you at the moment.
Slightly impaired.
Slightly impaired. As you're not in Glabro or Hispo form, the regenerative qualities of being a guru aren't helping you get rid of this impairment at the moment.
That's a 3 again.
So with 3 successes, I'll leave the choice up to you. You can either continue to follow the scent of the kin, or you can move towards the food. You can definitely see Artie is happily kind of starting to almost float on air, moving towards the food.
Nose extended.
Mm-hmm. He should have little cherub wings coming out of him as he was floating towards the scent.
He's going to take a couple steps towards it and then pick up the scent of the 3 again and kind of slightly bark towards Artie as he's drifting off and kind of redirect his nose. And then as the drool's profusely pouring out of his mouth, he also wants that, but starts heading back towards
Go ahead and
scent.
give me either charisma or manipulation, and I'll give you your choice, persuasion or intimidation, to try and get him back on target.
Yeah. We'll do charisma. 1.
1 success. 1 success will do it. He's just kind of letting his stoner brain take it, and the bark kind of redirects his attention, and he kind of slumps and pouts slightly as he continues padding along behind you, almost defiantly dragging his feet to keep up with you. But you do continue on your path. As you travel for blocks, maybe miles. It's kind of hard to tell as you're locked in on this scent, trying to block out any other distractions to keep you from kind of going off course. And as you travel, you find yourself traveling eastward for a good while. Apparently, the success of your seeking ritual put this target a great further distance than you've ever reached out to before. You continue heading through East Tampa, going out past the Hard Rock Casino, kind of continuing further until you make your way out into what looks to be a kind of vacation kind of RV park. As you approach the edges of the RV park, you can tell that the scent is pulling towards the inside of the RV park. However, go ahead and roll me a wits and awareness.
Any impairments?
Yeah, well, -1 still, for
Okay.
sure.
2.
2 successes. It's not hard to hear, but you definitely hear talking and movement and people kind of communing. The weather's been nice, so you can kind of hear people grilling and chatting, and there's a lot of human activity kind of happening amongst the RVs. These are people on vacation. These aren't people who live in their RVs. They're here clearly purposefully for a vacation. So nothing to keep them from hanging out and just enjoying themselves.
So going to try and quietly, still in lupus form, maneuver through the RVs, trying to follow that initial scent for those 3.
Okay. Uh, as you kind of try to follow the scent, go ahead and roll me another dexterity and stealth check, -1, as you are trying to maneuver. But you do get the +1 from being in lupus form, so don't forget that. But as you're kind of maneuvering your way through the RVs, trying to follow the source of the scent. Okay. So as you move through, you kind of find one of the RVs that's positioned a little bit further back in the camp, kind of off to the side. A lot of these camps have, different rows that the RVs are parked on either side with hookups attached to them. You kind of find your way to an RV that is parked off, kind of distantly off to one side in a mostly empty row of other RVs. You arrive and you can kind of see that there are some cars, like a car or two parked nearby, and you kind of pick up the scent coming from within, but there doesn't appear to be anybody standing outside at the moment. You can see that there are some windows and some light shining through. There seems to be a red light emanating from one of the back windows on the far side of the RV.
Gonna go into like one of the shadows, make sure that it's relatively dark, and then go back into Hamid,
Okay?
and then see if possibly able to kind of look in through one of the windows.
Okay. So as you approach the window, keeping your stealth up to the best of your ability, you approach the window and you can kind of hear Artie kind of nervously growling behind you, trying to be like, let's get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? You approach the window, and as you reach the edge of the window, kind of gripping onto the edge and boosting yourself up a little bit as it's a little higher raised off the ground, you boost. Go ahead and roll me another wits and awareness check. We'll take away the -1 as the sobriety of being here kind of knocks some sense into you, at least temporarily, and gets your awareness more settled.
5.
5 successes. So as you peer in through the window, you can hear some kind of movement happening inside. You see several individuals, kind of varying sizes and shapes. There doesn't seem to be any common traits between them, but you hear them kind of talking back and forth, the words muffled by the walls and the window so that you can't really make anything out. And there seem to be kind of 3 younger individuals, but there's a total of 7 people in this particular room. But the scent is definitely emanating from these 3 younger individuals. The way they're dressed is particularly odd. It's not like anything that you're used to seeing. It's not like the typical attire of day-to-day people. They seem to be wearing kind of these loose-fitting, baggy, almost like a burlap sack, but not really, just kind of loose fabric that is kind of clinging to their forms. Roughly, it seems like maybe it was a shirt at one point, but the sleeves have been ripped off. The neck lining is kind of torn up, and the bottoms of the shirts are kind of ripped with what looks to be like a rope almost tied around their belts, or as a belt, to hold up these same kind of fabric pants over their barefooted feet. You kind of study the room for a few moments, and you see an individual emerge that has the same kind of like loose fitting attire, but they seem to have this kind of like ragged hood pulled over their head, obscuring their appearance. And as they emerge, they have a satchel around their body, and they reach into the bag and pull out a book. And what stands out about the book is a symbol that look like two check marks flanking two more check marks, kind of slashing across the book in a almost tribal kind of like tribal hashtag of sorts that seems to rend the cover of the book. You have never seen a symbol like this before, despite the fact that there is some sort of familiarity to it in the way that it is taking shape. You've never actually seen this symbol before.
Okay.
As you're kind of watching, you kind of stay focused for a few more moments until you see the hood kind of immediately jerk over in your direction, and you see this weird kind of reflective quality to these eyes beneath the hood as they kind of turn in your general direction. You can't make any features out about the face, but the eyes still have some sort of reflective quality as the light hits them. What do you do?
As soon as they start turning and I see their eyes, I'm going to drop down, go into lupus, and start taking off. Kind of like yip towards Artie and start running.
All right, go ahead and give me a dexterity and athletics, as now it's more about speed and less about stealth to try and get out of this situation as you take off out of the RV park as quickly as you can.
Any penalties?
No, you are right now you're sober. It'll probably hit you again afterwards, but right now adrenaline is pushing the kind of
Get out.
numbness down for the moment.
4.
4 successes, you haul ass out of the RV park. Already hot on your tail, keeping up with you as best as he can. Also clearly adrenaline coursing through him as his tongue is like lolling out of the side of his mouth as he is like hauling ass to get out of there. And you head back to what you hope is safety. What you hope is an unfollowed space, a place where you can catch your breath and figure out what comes next. And with that, we're going to transition to our third scene before the break. Aspen and Jester. A conversation needs to take place. A conversation both of you likely have a lot of feelings about, a lot of intense emotions about. So why don't we go one at a time, and you tell me kind of what's going through your mind, what you're feeling as you're preparing for this encounter. Aspen, you first.
So Aspen, she's getting ready. She's got Chinese food, takeout ready, waiting for Jester. She's nervous on the surface. But it's more because she feels guilty. There's a lot of weight of the responsibility of being a leader, and trying to figure that out is very conflicting, with part of her wanting to do the best she can for her pack and the other part not wanting to disappoint her pack. And trying to find that balance has been a real big struggle, and it feels like every time she gets her footing, something else happens and she's back to square one of I don't know what I'm doing. So it's nervousness and guilt and just fear of what the conversation is to come and how Jester is going to react.
And on the opposite side of things, Jester, what have you been feeling? A lot's happened in your life yet again, and very little of it is good.
Jester is, as she's driving to the meetup location to meet Aspen, she is thinking over the past few days where Not only did she find out, like, Chloe, her best friend since middle school, has finally called it in, and she doesn't know how to keep any more secrets on it. She can't tell Chloe the truth, but the more she gets into this, the more she realizes that she doesn't have. She did do it. She was there. She didn't set up the explosions, but she was there. And that guilt on top of just the rage that she is feeling, that they got to Mia. They had to, because this is completely opposite, and she knows they're all innocent. She didn't tell them anything. And then the waiting is killing her. The trying to be patient, and it's just getting worse.
So, Aspen, you arranged this particular meetup, this gathering. Where are we when this scene begins? Where have you decided to cross paths with Jester? Having
She would
left
have-
Artie's place separately in at different times, you're kind of actually meeting up now. Where?
She would have wanted to meet up at her RV, at her trailer, because it's secluded and it's comforting in a way, to where they could have like an open conversation without anybody else around.
Okay. Jester, would you have accepted her invitation for a conversation? You haven't seen her since the news broke. You haven't crossed paths since her visit to the jail. Would you have accepted an invitation from her at this time?
Absolutely want to know what has happened.
Okay. So taking Regina, you made your way out to Lettuce Lake Park. Regina, despite any attempts to turn on music or anything like that, no music emanates. Just kind of quiet hangs in the air. She is not attempting to cheer you up. She's not attempting to distract you. She is just letting you focus on your thoughts and operating the way a car should, with very little personality, just doing the job to get you where you need to go. So you arrive at the park, already having given you pretty solid instructions how to find the kind of hidden service drive that will lead towards the back, and you go around the bumping and kind of rumbling roads towards back near the shore of the lake, where you find the long RV kind of parked, and you see Aspen already waiting outside, kind of sitting on the steps that lead into the inside of the RV. As you pull up and park the car, almost immediately after you shift into the park gear, it immediately dies, going quiet. You climb out of the car, and the scene is yours.
Aspen will immediately stand up and, hey, you made it. Come in.
Yeah. I'll head in.
She's on like the small little table to the corner. She's got some Chinese food set up in case she's hungry and stuff like that. But she sits on the small couch and it's just like, I got food if you're hungry. I don't.
Maybe later.
Okay. Yeah. How are you?
How do you think?
Not great.
That's about there. They they had to have used something on her. What she said wasn't even true.
Yeah, I know. I talked to her and the others.
What happened?
Through the conversation, it seemed like they didn't know anything. They didn't say anything for the most part, at least most of them. And they were just waiting to figure out what was happening. And they were asking questions about you. That's really what they wanted to know. Bateman and all of them.
Chloe?
Chloe was not happy with the situation or with you. And she gave information.
Is there beer on the table?
Yeah, she would have had beer on the table.
I would have opened one and started drinking.
She told them about where to find your mom, I guess.
She can't know that. I don't even know where to find my mom.
Well, at least information about her.
Now, we'll say Jester, who you might refer to as mom, might be different than who Chloe might know as mom.
Don't know that one either.
Oh.
I haven't seen my mom since I was 17. At least the mom she knows. The other mom I've never seen.
Do you think that they would use her against you?
Absolutely. Chloe doesn't know enough, but it's a problem.
They're pretty clever. I think if she knows even a little bit, they'll find out a lot.
I assume you need to know? For
Not if-
law purposes?
Not if you don't want to tell me. At this point, it's up to you.
Story goes, my mom bailed with her shitty, abusive boyfriend when I was 17. At least that's what I told everybody. She got away, the boyfriend didn't.
When you changed?
Yeah. My mom was never the best at picking boyfriends after my dad died. This one was the worst. I thought he was going to kill her that night. And then I was angry. I was so angry. I wanted to help her. And then everything became red and black. And then when I remember my mom screaming and running. I remember that. And then when I came to, she was gone and he was in pieces. I hid the body. And when I was doing that, apparently she came back, grabbed a bunch of stuff, and disappeared.
So sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you.
It happens to all of us, doesn't it? Except maybe the lucky ones where kin seekers actually find the first.
Right?
I mean, technically, I'm lucky that I wasn't the best at covering up, but Raven and Gibby's, they found me first.
I know that a lot of us have had hard changes, so I understand it. I'm sorry.
I'm sure if they can find it out, though, they will.
I'm hoping that there's missing pieces from that night on her side.
Well, I mean, been told humans can't handle seeing us.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is all really hard. And I need some action. I I can't sit around waiting as this just gets worse.
That's difficult because we're dealing with things we don't understand. I had a conversation with Bateman that day after talking to all of your friends. He, um, he, he did something.
Did something?
When I was talking to him, he asked where you were, and it's like he pulled at my mind. It's like he violated my memories.
You think this is what he did to Mia?
I'm not sure. I don't know. It's
But
all very confusing.
how would he get her to admit something that didn't even happen? Like, the details she gave they're not even true.
I think there's a lot more to the leeches than we even expected.
She'll pull out her phone, go through her camera until she brings up the picture she took at the power thing. Can we use this against them? Going the crate's straight edged way isn't working. They have powers. We're going to lose because we're not using our powers.
I think we've
What
got
if
to.
Artie? What if Artie could put them out anonymously?
We could try it.
Something. I can't wait anymore.
I understand that, and wish there was more that I could do. I just don't want us running into something that we have no idea about, and all of us losing.
I get that. That's why I'm not trying to figure out Bateman's place of living and hunt him down. But the longer we are waiting, I've sat and I've waited and I've helped. I've helped you guys. And I just continue to lose. People that aren't even really involved with the pack are getting screwed over.
I'm trying my best to fix that. I really am.
I understand you're trying your best. But it's just getting worse.
But I don't know what else you want to do. You want to go in there with teeth and claws and hope for the best?
I don't know. I want something.
I want something for you too, Jester, but there's nothing that we have no idea what we're getting ourselves into. Okay, and I have to tell you something. Bateman asked for you to let the rest go, and I said no.
Jester, I'd like you to make a composure and resolve check. You would happily throw yourself in the line of fire for your friends, but to be deprived of that opportunity, even the choice, stirs something inside of you.
What's my rage currently at?
I would say your rage currently is at a 2. Or, yeah. But I would say rage dice don't count towards a composure and resolve check. This is like a willpower check.
Okay.
Two successes. You can feel your anger start to rise, your frustration, the helplessness of relying on somebody else when you've relied on yourself for so long. Something keeping you from doing what you might consider the right thing, the honorable thing, the noble thing. But also, this is your leader. She is trying to help you, even if her help seems a little lackluster, or I should say lacking at this time. So while you will not go into a frenzy, you will increase your rage to a 3 at this point.
Her knuckles will whiten over the bottle, possibly cracking just a little bit. You should have asked at least.
I didn't have time to ask. The longer we waited, he would have made his own decision. I get why you're upset, and I understand. But if we gave you for them, you'd be on the inside and you'd be no help.
How much help am I here? I mean, I'm a terrorist now.
So say I say yes. Say I said yes, and you're on the inside and they're on the outside. And yeah, they're safe. You think that they're not going to use them against you still? You think they're not going to be looked at every time you say no or push back against the people on the inside? There was a no, it was a lose-lose. There was no winning there, Jester. And you're here with us and we can help. But you on the inside and us 4 trying to figure that out on our own, we need you.
Fine. I get it.
Also, I don't want you to just blindly listen to me because I'm designated the leader. I want to be able to talk the things through. I didn't have the opportunity there.
I mean, he apparently tried to use his mind powers on you. I mean, me going in would probably reveal all of you. I get it. I just don't have to like it.
I know, and I don't expect you to.
I need more though, Aspen. If we don't know enough, we need to find
I completely agree, and I want us all to work on that. I wanted to talk to Artie and see what we can get. I have people looking into Bateman for me, so I can get as much information as I can. I really am trying. I really am.
Okay. I might
want-
try a few things myself. No, I won't run in and become 9 foot tall and hairy and swipe at them. But I have some ideas. Starting with these pictures.
Yeah, I would hope not. But we can figure it out. That's why we're all here, right? We're all together.
Yeah.
Do you want the other bad news?
Oh my God, there's more? I'm gonna need another beer.
She'll go open one up for her and hand it to her.
Thanks.
It's not really bad news. It's not gonna make you happy.
Okay, I'm listening.
I had a conversation with Ryder recently, and to get help with Aiden's family. He wants to be more involved and possibly have a place in our pack. And I didn't tell him no. Okay, I'm lying. I told him yes.
You've got to be. Did you not have time for that either?
That one was a little. I did have time for that one. It just.
The whole reason that I am in this mess. And you want to invite him in the pack so he can do it again to one of you? I'm sorry. Sorry. Technical issues. My cat decided to steal one of my dice. Anyways. He's not gonna change.
You don't know that.
Was Eliza gonna change?
We have no idea. We went to the.
She was getting
Best case-
worse. From what you all have told me about this, like, things that they suffer, they don't. Unless there's a tear, they just get worse. This is gonna happen again.
We don't know that. We don't know that that's the only way. We just know that that's a way. And before that, we didn't even know that that was an accurate way. We had no idea. We don't know anything. That's the problem, is we don't know anything. We're flying blind and we're doing the best we can. But if this happens to you, because we can't do what we need to do for you, I need to know that there's a way to bring you back.
So are we trying to bring him back? Before we add him into the pack?
I think adding is what helps. I'm not saying add him completely, but bringing him in, letting him help, letting him be a part. He's lonely.
He's manipulative.
I don't disagree.
Is this decision already made too?
No, it's not made. It just.
Then not until we find a way to fix him.
How do you suggest doing that?
Maybe there's another tier out there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we ask Joseph, like, him to ask some of his mentors back at their pack. Maybe I ask my pack.
That's absolutely an option. I wasn't saying it wasn't. I just. was thinking we weren't even supposed to find the first one, the first tier. And the problem on either side is being pushed too far one way or the other, right?
Weren't supposed to. What do you mean weren't supposed to?
It was, Joseph said that it was just a myth, just a legend, I guess. It was never concrete evidence. We weren't, by all means, by that logic, by those facts, we're never supposed to find it.
But we did. We have proof that the myth is true, which means there are more out there if it's been spoken of. We didn't just discover it like, oh my god, this is a magical tier of Gaia.
Kind of
We-
what happened, Jester. Do you not remember? We walked
We
into
had
the umbral.
tales. We had tales and clues about it. So there are others out there. Maybe we can find clues.
And you want to do all of that while your friends are in jail? We don't have the time. The cairn is getting built. Your friends are in jail. We have werewolves about to change in our own city. We don't have the time to go into the Umbra and find these mystical things to magically bring him back. We have to be set in reality. And the reality is we need to try and fix him the best way we know how. And if he feels alone, let's bring him in. Let's give him a community. Let's make him feel again. Let's make him feel something again.
It didn't work with Eliza until we got the tier. I tried.
None of this is a quick fix.
No, it's not. But that doesn't mean we should make ourselves more vulnerable by letting him in with his manipulations and lies when he will go to the extreme if he wants to.
If we push him away, he's going to do it. At least he's close and we can watch him.
You said the exact same thing with the power plant.
I did.
And you know what? I wouldn't have been screwed over if he just did it himself.
So we leave him on his own then? That's a legitimate question. That's not manipulative in any way. We leave him alone?
I really want to say no. You are really annoying.
I've been told that, yeah.
No, obviously we shouldn't leave him alone. But we don't have to invite him into everything.
That's not what I'm saying. I just think that him having community somewhere, someone to watch over him, people to give him things to do, keep him busy, might help.
I'll be watching.
And the moment he fucks up, I'll let
I'll
you
get
have
my-
first. Absolutely.
I'll get my ass beat. Like, seriously.
You'll get in a good, couple. I believe in you.
Thanks.
So with that, the question lingers in the air. Should they leave him alone? Should they bring him in? Right now, the odds favor bringing him closer, but not all the way in. The problem with being a werewolf, especially a werewolf suffering the depths of rage and loss and anger, is close enough. Will that satisfy whatever need Ryder has to feel included, or will it just be a taste that leaves him hungering for more? We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and when we return, our pack will be reunited once more. to pass information over the past several days and weeks that they have found out individually, and to see if they really are all on the same page moving forward, and if not, what they need to do to get back on the same page. We'll see you in 5 minutes. We are back. So, in the first half, we saw 3 separate stories, 3 people looking for answers. Very, very different answers. Explanations, possibly even forgiveness, possibly just someone to be a companion in their lonely moments. But the pack is reformed. All 5 of you travel in Regina out to Eliza's trailer, which has affectionately become your new gathering spot with the moving of the shop that Joseph used to work at. You find yourselves already inside, sitting on the couch and chairs in Eliza's living room. The improvements are still there, and they seem to be even stronger than ever. Joseph, the efforts that you've been putting in as Eliza's newest mentor are paying off. They're showing. You can see that a lot of the drab interior, the hopelessness, the sadness, and the apathy are gone. The window shades are drawn back, allowing light to come in from the outside, from the sun, from the moon, from the stars. You can see that the wallpaper that was heavily yellowed has been stripped and replaced with a nice coating of paint, fresh and clean. The carpeting looks like it's still in need of replacement, but Joseph, you would know from being with Eliza that that's coming. It's on its way. Little changes at first. We don't need this to be a shock to the system of the old lady who's been living in this existence for over a decade. So here is where we lay our scene. Artie, Aspen, Aiden, Jester, Joseph. Eliza seems to be tooling around in one of the back rooms, kind of moving around, organizing stuff, just busying herself so that you have these moments to yourselves to catch up. The scene is yours.
That was a quiet car ride.
Jester has one of those like foam balls that can bounce, but she is currently using it as a stress ball, and she is squeezing it in her hand over and over again.
Yeah. Well, we're all together. Let's talk.
So, Artie and I had a fun little time together.
He sucks at
Uh,
GoldenEye.
I would assume so, yeah. He's
Okay,
never played video games before.
He's getting better. He was getting better at the end.
I got out of the hallway.
You got out of the hallway.
Yeah, thank you. We did a kin baking. Is that what it was?
Yep. That's what we did. Only
Yeah,
that.
yeah. That's not what we did. We went and did
I
stuff.
mean, for the ritual. Only that
Well, yeah,
for the ritual.
Yeah, Artie gave me some of these weird dried leaves he pulled out of this like weird tin thing. Smelled real funky, but I needed the bad smelling stuff. Got in my Joseph, remember last time when I breathed that stuff in, I didn't feel great. This one made my head feel funny. And then I had a hard time focusing, and food smelled way better than it should have. But it, no,
Artie,
my
It
throat was
had
fine.
results. It had results. It had results. We were working with what we had.
it-
Yeah. Anyways,
You
we
wait for the
weird
next part. You'll see that it was worthwhile.
So you know how I've told you guys that there's at least one possible turning here soon, right? So this last one I did, I found 3 more. Uh way out east. In a weird like trailer grouping kind of thing. Uh anyways, I Artie and I went there. I went and looked in through the window, and there was like a bunch of people in there, but they all kind of like dressed funny. Um, Aspen, remember those people in Boise who lived by the place where the big metal thing with all the discarded hamburgers,
Mhm.
trash cans, yeah. They were dressed kind of like that, but really like loose fitting. Then there was this person that came out who had like a same kind of thing, but had a hood on. Couldn't really see too much of their face. But then they pulled out this weird book with these other 3 people in there who had the scent of Guru with the other 7. This book had a thing on it, but it looked like scratched, and it looked like uh, this thing, the game of tic-tac-toe that you said.
Artie pulls out a kind of like a little sketch pad and draws the symbol to the best of the way it's described. It looks like 2 check marks flanking 2 other check marks.
Yeah, like
A
that.
crisscross.
But then when I was trying to see what was going on, the person in the hood like turned and like looked at me, and I thought I was pretty well hidden. I know I'm not supposed to look in people's windows and stuff, but I couldn't help myself. Um, but I looked in, and this person's eyes were like glowing, but I couldn't see like their face because the hood is like a weird blur going. But their eyes were, I could see just glowing. Then Artie and I left.
the-
So that's 4. That's good news, right?
But they're culty.
They look like
Um,
monks, from what I could see. Kind of like the robes, rags of monks.
But not like dancers, right?
No, nothing like that. Not at
Okay.
least how I've heard them described, but
Okay.
dancers?
Corrupted us. Very corrupted us.
So those 3 that are there are not good.
No. Artie doesn't think that they were like that. That's just something to watch out for. There are really bad versions of us, but these may be us-ish.
they didn't look like they'd been there long. While he was looking in the window, I was kind of checking out the RV itself. It looked like it could have only been in town a couple of weeks. It can do a search in their records at the campsite to see when they came into town, but they couldn't have been there very long.
Does Eliza have any like old lore books we could maybe look up with
Yeah.
glyphs? He'll go over to the shelf, grab like a book that would have like glyphs, and leaf through to see if he could find that glyph.
Go ahead and give me a wits and occult. I'll give you a +1 for Eliza's library to see if you can kind of find the sigil that looks like what you're looking for.
Oh, I also had soda for the first time.
He
Was it
sure
good? Did you
did.
enjoy it?
It's sweet but really sticky. I don't like not necessarily like enjoyable, but I think I got the motion down when you open it and you point it and it does the uh, was it something explosion?
Explosion of joy.
It's explosion of joy all over your face as you open it, and it just goes everywhere. But overall, just really sticky and makes a mess.
He loves that part.
It's all right, not my favorite. The taste was okay though.
Joseph throws the book down on the table. He got 10 successes.
Oh yeah, you're able to find the word Fenris and the symbol almost exactly. Maybe a little hair off on the line work, but almost exactly as shown in the image.
It's the cult of Fenris.
That good?
No, it's
Oh,
the tribe that left the nation because they're all like Ryder.
Oh, good.
okay.
This okay. Hmm.
So don't seek them. I don't know if I have a choice in that. I'm gonna keep sense. I don't have a choice on who I pick up.
I don't know if you can seek them or if they've already been sought. And now it's
That-
just waiting.
I mean, if there is a person there with that book, they've been found. Those 3 have been found by the cult.
But maybe that's why he found them, to get them away from there.
Yeah,
I mean, they
yeah,
could
maybe
be
we
useful
can-
still.
Maybe we can save them from the crazies.
From big old scary eyes.
Yeah.
So just kind of keep watching, and I'll just give you guys updates on what I find.
I mean, maybe it'd be best to just be honest with them. Go talk to them. If we can get them away from the culties, just letting them know there's another option. I don't know if they're bought in hook, line, and sinker. If it's the
They've
first
been
people,
found, they're probably not going to let them out of their sight. I mean,
yeah, it may be tricky.
Do I
But,
talk
like,
to all 7 or just those 3?
the 3, I would not want to meet a pack of elder Fenris. They were scary when they were on our side from the stories.
stories aren't wrong. They are. If you think Ryder's bad, from what I know, they're the worst of us. Aside
What are
from
they
the
doing here?
dancers.
There's a power vacuum. They are angry. They want to smash something. I mean, they're
Why now? There's been a powered vacuum for years.
The cairn's waking up. Maybe they feel it. Maybe they sense it. There's
maybe
a
they
change
found
in the
those.
air.
Are they
Coulda
going to
found
fight
the
us over
kin.
the Karen? If they're like Ryder? Great. So not only vampires, but other werewolves we have to fight.
But to be fair, I did go talk to Ryder, and my bad, I should have told you. Yeah, I went and talked to Ryder. He does want to, from what I gathered, he's willing to advise for the time being to gain trust before actually stepping in. He did just want to go in and break things. But I think I appeased to his better nature. I kind of told him how it was, that Aspen's leader, and that he has to basically listen to that. He said for the time being, he'd more than happy to do that, but last time that he waited, when they had knowledge about where the leeches were at, and he waited, the Karen got attacked and he lost it. Also, leeches can apparently be out during the day.
I thought they
Alrighty.
couldn't.
Artie gets a really confused look on his face.
At least one of them. Mary, apparently Ryder fought her for 2 days straight. Like, and not just through nights, day and night. For 2 days, she was able to be out in the sun, which I didn't think that was a thing, but apparently she can.
Those his words?
Those were his words. I didn't sense any ill from him. It seemed like he was being completely honest. He didn't really have a reason to lie about it. I did tell him about what we saw from Grandmother Willow, though, and I had to talk to her too, kind of I don't know how to talk to her. I might, Joseph, if I can be with you and we can go chat with her, but Ryder said that he's willing to give it another shot and listen and wait, but he did want to put the warning out that if we wait too long, we will be attacked and we'll lose again. So we'll have to push at some point. Being a wall only lasts for so long, the battering ram has to get out.
It's the same guy that said that if we fight them, we'll die. So which is it? We fight them and die? We wait and die?
I think it's fighting alone. Die. Fight together will win. You know, the whole stick thing. Oh, that's just what he said. I told him that I would report back and let the pack know, but he is tired of being alone. He brought up the. I feel bad for him. As someone who's lost, he has lost a lot too. And right now he's very lost. He is a guru without a pack. He's out there by himself, trying to figure it out, and he's doing what he can, what he knows he can do. He's fighting, but he doesn't really have an overall cause itself to be fighting. He's just out there to do it because that's what he knows. That's part of being this auspice. It's just I just fall back and revert, and you can't get out of that. So he needs the pack to help guide him through what he needs.
I agree.
I honestly hate that I agree with Ryder that we need to do something.
Yes, but we have to wait till we get things established because right now we have nothing to, like, we have us to defend, but we have the foundation, the how do you put it? Not stacking bricks. We got to build it brick by brick,
Mm-hmm.
and we can't build it too fast because it's just gonna fall over. And that's
Right.
Ryder's thing.
We also need allies around us while we build that. Because if it's just the 6 of us, we're not going to get very far. Especially if they can manipulate the way they can. The leeches, I mean.
And now if we're having to fight more, some of us, and if you guys are saying they're as bad as they are, we need someone that knows how to be just as ruthless.
Fine.
So
Fine.
that's what
I-
I bring.
I would have. I'm kind of split on this. Of course, I'm going to go where you go, Aspen. I've told you that. But I wouldn't be doing my job. I wouldn't be serving my moon if I didn't say that there's a liability. A huge one. A very, very gaping, huge liability. Because he was here before, they know him. They know what he looks like. They probably know where he is. And he hasn't been a big enough problem for them to take care of yet. other than occasional inconveniences. What if we let him in? What if we bring him in and that just brings them right to our doorstep because they've been watching him?
Yeah.
However, flip side, the cult of Fenris is in town. And clearly they're recruiting. He is a prime target for them. Just because you picked your tribe once doesn't mean you picked it forever.
Also, on the point of them knowing him, didn't you just say that they attacked the cairn itself?
Yeah.
So wouldn't they know where the cairn could be? Isn't that a
Exactly.
danger?
That's something we have a danger of with or without him. If we're building up the same thing that they had once before, they already have a good idea of where we're at.
And any place we could use, they probably know about, because there are limited places that we can build a cairn. That
Right.
comes with the territory. We need to take the ones that were around back then out. We're not there yet. Clearly, we're not even there yet with Ryder. So,
Just want to make sure that we're considering all the pieces. He is a very, very valuable asset, but he's also a huge liability, and we'd be accepting both. We don't get to pick which side we get. We get both, regardless.
I'm still not sold that he's an asset.
What are your concerns? What are the biggest concerns that you have, Joseph?
He's going to do it again. He has no honor. He's lost his honor. I don't trust it. So I'm concerned he's going to do it again. I'm concerned that we're going to trust him on a job. He's going to blow something up. Another one of us is going to take the fall.
We did trust him with the job, and he didn't. He had a perfect opportunity to while we were in Oregon, and he didn't.
Okay.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Just because he was good one time doesn't mean he's going to be good every time, but we have to consider that. We have to consider Aspen told him to do something. He did it. And he did it the way she wanted him to. That's all I'm saying. Again, it's the ragabash hole in me to tell you all of the sides of this.
Isn't there a thing about keeping those who oppose you next to you?
Yeah, it's the thing I always say, keep your enemies close.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I personally don't want to have to fight a cult, leeches, and Ryder. I'd
Oh no,
rather
I'm
have
saying we
one of
turn them
those with
against each
us.
other.
Okay, well, and if
We are inevitably, and I say this, we're inevitably going to get caught in the crossfire. There's no way we stay out of that hands clean. No
Our
repercussions.
hands are dirty.
No,
I don't care about being
repercussion.
clean.
I'm talking repercussions. We are gonna,
Mhm.
one of us is gonna get hurt. It's going to
Too
happen.
late. One of us has been hurt. Like, all of your threats have already happened.
I mean, dead, Joseph. One of us is gonna be dead.
Yeah, we're all gonna die eventually. That's what we do. But
We're in
it
a
could be
war,
him. Ryder could be the one dead.
and we are in a war, Aspen. The minute we were chosen, we're in a war.
I'm aware of that, but it's my job to keep you safe and to make sure you guys are okay. So if just because we're all going to die doesn't mean we go in half cocked and do
I'm
some.
not saying half cocked. I'm saying we already got a bullet in the chamber. Shoot it.
I don't know about that, to be honest.
And what if the bullet realizes that's exactly what it is?
What if it joins the person it's shooting?
We got 5 million what ifs. And we can sit here and what if.
What if they're
Cults.
what I do?
No,
Cults-
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the get right now. They're 2 pages from now. I'm looking at the fact that the leeches, no Ryder, and the leeches are going after who blew up the power plant, and Ryder blew up the power plant, And Ryder is currently using our sense of honor to dodge consequences.
I think they're going after us. They know us. They're going after us. When we went to the jail, they were asking about Jester.
Yeah, because the connections they have to who blew it up pointed to Jester. But if all of the actual facts point to Ryder, they'll have their answer.
Do you think they're actually going to stop with Ryder? Or
They're
is
not
Ryder
going to
just
stop
another one?
regardless.
Well, yeah, but
But they can buy us some time.
they might also know about us now.
Yeah.
And
So
if
would
Ryder
we
gets caught,
rather-
what if he gives us up?
Would we rather
Ah.
we have him on our side when they do come calling? And like you said, it's inevitable. They're going to come calling. Why not set him loose then on exactly what he wants the whole time? At least he'll think he's doing it for something instead of without a purpose, like Aiden said. Instead of floating and just doing what he does best, he'll be fighting for something again. And maybe he'll
Give
fight
him
a little
something
smarter.
to fight.
Not give him something to fight, something to fight for.
He's already fighting.
Okay, let's take the opposing view real quick. Joseph's view and a little bit Jester's view. If we do have him fighting against the leeches, the vampires for us, right? Which is all well and good. It's an option. What are we going to be doing to protect the cairn during that? Because isn't that our sole purpose? Isn't that what we're here to do?
What would we be doing inviting him here? Like everything that we can do when he's here being a liability, we can do when he's out there being a liability and maybe taking one or two of the leeches out.
His expertise, none of us have, though, in fighting leeches. That's knowledge that if we
And-
send him out there, will be gone.
And he told us teeth and claw.
They don't just use tooth and claw, though, do they?
No, they don't, but he hasn't told us jack.
Why would he? We've treated him like an outcast and someone we're suspicious of. We've obviously harbored resentment towards him, and he probably isn't dumb enough to miss that. It's not like we've been the most happy-go-lucky people around him in whatever encounters we've had with him recently. Like, we harbor
hey, Artie.
resentment.
If I pissed on Regina, would you let me back in?
Make you wash it first.
Would she?
At this point, Eliza kind of comes shuffling out of the back room. Voices are getting awful raised out here. Maybe I'll need to cool off for a second. Who wants a sweet tea? She kind of starts shuffling over to the fridge.
You know,
Do you have
sugar,
any-
please.
Do you have anything extra to put in it?
Well, I was gonna say go to the store and get it your damn selves, but yes, I can take care of it. She kind of opens up the fridge and you see her pull out a pitcher, and then it reaches up into a cabinet, pulls down a big liquor bottle that has several little dashes along the side with dates written next to them.
He is a liability, though.
I know.
I don't mean letting him go free and fight them on the other side. He's more of a liability that way. People like Ryder, who feel alone, are easy to bring into pipelines of cults and alt-right thinking. If you say these Fenris are that bad, they'll be easy to get to. They'll be easy to get to them.
All he sees is enemies, Artie pipes up. He's been seeing enemies for a decade. Enemies and weapons. His motorcycle gang are his weapons. Everything else is enemies. Maybe he really wants friends Did you see how he acted when we first came in, when we were even present? I know the whole bombing and everything that happened after that really fucked some stuff up, but that's the two sides at conflict. He wanted our help. He was happy we were there, but maybe he forgot or just had a really hard time coming around to a different way of doing things. Maybe you got to warm that part of you up again after it's been cold and dormant for so long, and maybe he realized the error of his ways with the bombing, and maybe he's trying to make up for it now. Maybe he is getting better. Maybe there isn't a tear that's needed here. Maybe it's just patience, understanding, and time.
He did kind of show that he was sorry when I had talked to him about it. He said that he knows he messed up overall. He's more saying that he upset Aspen, and he knows that Jester's really mad at him. But he did seem overall like he's wanting to work with us.
But also, it could all be for show.
Manipulators like to apologize and say they're sorry for things and pretend they'll do better and wait until you put your guard down.
And attacking us does what, though? Then he'd still be alone.
I don't think he'd attack us. I don't think that's what he's looking to do. I think he's fighting, like you said. I think he's fighting the fight, and he is been fighting for so long. The fight doesn't stop, and if he sees a potential advantage for the fight that he's fighting, I don't think he's going to turn around and attack us. I don't think he's that. Well, I don't know, but
he will straight up sacrifice us and what we care about to get the job done.
maybe.
Joseph, what did Grandmother Willow say?
She said she'd consider it if he paid chimnage.
Aiden, when talking to him, did he say he was willing to do that?
He said he was willing to play. Yeah.
Okay. Then I think we're going to go around in circles about this conversation, about Ryder. Take it to a vote. Artie.
I have to be first.
Yes, you do. It's penance for your guys' kin bake earlier.
Can't argue with the results. We found the cult of Fenris, but fine.
It's not the point.
Send.
Usually I'd abstain from things like this, but there's 5 of us, so... I believe in you, Aspen, and you believe in Ryder, so I say bring it on.
Okay. Aiden.
I think it's worth a shot. So I say, yeah, bring him in.
Okay. Jester.
Jester will squeeze the ball a few times as she's staring down at it. On one condition.
Absolutely.
Artie helps me build an army to fight against these vampires the way they fight. And we start showing him this, and I'll push the pictures of the farm at the power plant.
It's gonna have to be a slow roll. I can't
I understand.
release this. There's other things besides vampires to be afraid of. The humans don't get it. We keep them from needing to get it because they do ridiculous things when they're afraid.
I get it.
Okay. I can help with that.
But-
yeah.
Something will be happening.
Can help
Then
with
fine.
that.
Okay. Joseph.
Cairn member, not pack member.
I can take that. We can do that. How about we do that to start? And if it goes well, if he proves himself, then we can reevaluate. Okay, so we're all in agreement then. We bring him in. We let him help.
Eliza kind of coming in with the drinks now. One of them a slightly diluted sweet tea going to Jester, and the other one with no sugar, going to Aspen. Being an outcast isn't so bad. Because when people still need you, and still use you, and still come to you asking for their assistance and their help, you know your worth, and you know your value. And politics be damned, it's for Gaia. And she kind of serves the drinks and goes shuffling back into the back room.
I have something I want to talk about that's less depressing.
Absolutely,
Thank
please.
God.
I could use some good news.
I went to see a friend the other night. Star's doing well. I got to talk to her. And in that conversation, I had a realization. Not every pack, but lots of packs choose a patron to oversee them, as we each have our own group patrons. Horned Serpent, Falcon, so on. When a pack really gets committed, they quite often take a spirit as a patron. She was telling me of the pack or Sept up in the lake and how their patron was a curmudgeonly old bird. Really guessing an owl. I'm not sure, but I was thinking about finding a patron for us, and I kind of think we could ask Star.
I really like that.
I like Star.
Who's Star?
Star's the light
Where what
moon
stars
spirit.
are?
No. So remember we went into the Umbra and we met with the moon spirit who helped guide us to our little tests and then guide
Right.
us to Star was that spirit.
Oh, the little person. Oh,
Yes. She was very excited. Apparently, most packs that end up talking to her don't come back and give her updates on how things have gone. So it was a good talk. But yeah, I kind of want to let that float. Think about it. We should look at getting a patron for that. I mean, obviously for the Cairn, Grandmother Willow will be the Cairn's guardian. But for us, just something to think about.
She's already kind of doing the job. I mean, she already did it. When we went into the Umbra, we could have wandered until we... And he already kind of looks to the back room nervously for a second. Could have ended up like it did. But instead, she gave us the way. And...
Yeah. And she is excited at the thought of any of us coming back to say hi. She was very welcoming at me talking to her and asking for her to come down. Lots of spirits are very indifferent at best to us. Sometimes it takes a full rite to get any of them to talk, something that Aspen or Jester would be better at learning. So I bet she'd be receptive. And for like our patrons in our tribes, often there's a give and take, something that she'd ask of us and something that we'd get in return to that relationship, that help. I don't know what that would be. That's up to how we talk to her, but it'd definitely be something, if we decide to, we'd want to go together and talk to her.
Well, it sounds like she already told you. Someone to give her updates.
I didn't.
Someone
I mean,
But read the situation, Joseph. I mean, I
Yeah,
know social
no.
isn't your thing, but she said she was so happy that you even said hi.
Yeah.
If we
Yeah,
came
no,
by
like-
and gave her moonstones and fucking told her she's literally the stars and the moon above us,
No, the vibe was good. I hinted at it, and I feeling it'd go well, but I didn't want to straight up ask her until talking to you all.
No, I think that's a great idea.
She was very helpful when we were there, and fun to talk to.
And she would know things that we really need to know. Like, to be blunt and useful about it, there's a side of our experience that she could help us with a lot.
I think that's excellent. Is everybody on the same page with that one?
Yeah.
No ragabash on this.
not in this one. Funny
Thank
enough.
God.
Well, listen. What would you do without me?
You're right.
No.
I wouldn't be sticky all over for hanging out on your couch. So
Not
What
get
did I
baked
miss
in
in
a
the
half-ass
book?
ritual.
Okay, so please, Artie, make sure that Aiden understands what you're giving him before you give it to him. Just
Listen, it was a pinch. He wanted something stinky to overwhelm his senses. I used what I had. I couldn't exactly
Yeah.
go trotting over to Dysfunctional Grace and hit you up for some free samples or anything,
Yeah,
so
I
I made
know.
use of what I had. But yes, I understand.
I needed the
will-
dry leaves, dirt. I used one of my hairs and one of Artie's hairs and put it in there. Then crunched it all together. And then we lit it on fire and got really smoky in there. And then I started
it
doing the
worked.
weird feelings.
So yeah, the extra weird feelings is from one of the leaves that he used.
Yeah, it's not like your leaves; those different.
Yeah, no, I can get you stinky leaves that won't make you hungrier.
Oh, I was so hungry. That barbecue place.
We're gonna go back there after
Oh,
this.
absolutely,
We're hitting that place up
absolutely.
on the way home.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, Aiden, on the whole soda pop thing, or the whole soda thing,
Yeah,
you need to aim for your mouth.
yeah.
The goal is
Yeah,
to get it all in your mouth.
Yeah, you got to open it up towards your mouth. He gets it. I showed him how to do it right.
Yeah. I'll get it. I feel like it's a
His
weird
aim
thing.
was off. That's why it hit him in the face instead of going directly in his mouth.
It was hard to open and
Yeah, you got to keep the space for the opening. Yeah, I know. It's rough, but make sure to shake it up really good first.
right. Yeah.
No. On a different note, I saw a pamphlet for the zoo at Ryder's Place.
What zoo?
The zoo that Terrence.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, so you might want to have a conversation and see if you guys are looking for the same person.
Yeah, I might. Yeah. Should I bring up the cult thing?
Not right now. We don't have enough information about it.
Okay.
he may still be mad at them for leaving.
Or he may be
We
happy
might-
that they're back.
Yeah, like
And they're
if,
more
if-
willing to do what he wants to do and likes to do. Versus...
Yeah, but you know how mad he was at Eliza for being a stargazer. They also left.
But his love
we
for the
might-
nation has died down.
Yeah.
I
significantly.
wouldn't go that far. From what I gather, he still has it. He thinks the nation abandoned him, but he hasn't abandoned the nation. If that makes sense, is kind of what he said. He's still fighting the fight that he was put towards. He just feels alone and separated from it.
Maybe someone with some social nuance can figure out the best way to let him know in a way that would keep him from going right to them, especially if we are, extending a hand of welcome to the cairn. Then, this is a place where you are going to be welcome. Those are traitors over there. Might be something someone social can do.
That's actually a great point, because if he can find Terrence, then he can find the others. And if he finds out on his own, it's better for us to give him get a jump in on that before he finds out on his own.
So,
And if he's a kinseeker, that's a way to get him and you together closer.
yeah, so tell him about what Artie and I saw at the trailers.
I'll go with you. We'll talk to him together.
Okay. Gotta be busy. I go talk to grandmother, because that was super fun eating weird leaf. What's with you guys and leaves? Why are leaves so needed for
Do you want me
stuff?
to I can try to make a ritual with a version with meat if you want.
That'd be amazing, because that leaf that grandmother gave was not good.
Yeah, you're only gonna get leaves from her. And those leaves were special.
How do you feel
kinda
about
like Artie.
brownies, Aiden?
I never had a brownie.
They're great.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
You've not?
Mm-mm.
Okay. We're
What
gonna go
about
get brownies.
cookies?
Aspen says not to eat cookies. Something about teeth or something.
Have you taught him to brush his teeth yet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, good. Then you can have a cookie. Just brush your teeth afterwards.
Oh. Well, what the hell, Aspen?
Sorry, I'm being a ragabash tonight.
It's fun, isn't it?
We've kind of
No.
we've dated it. But back to a sort of serious conversation with Jester's friends. Joseph, you were there. We went to go talk to them. I had a conversation with Bateman afterwards, and he has an affinity for getting into people's heads.
Yeah. I don't really remember that. Like, it's weird. I mean, I remember it, but it's weird.
And I think that's what happened with Mia. He pushed into my head without consent, so.
What I
That's
can tell
apparently
about
something they could do.
leeches, consent isn't really something they consider.
It has to be. First of all, none of that was true. Obviously, to who I'm talking about now. But Jester will pull out a well-folded, well-read group of papers and unfolded. This is the letter I got from her before. A few days before the announcement. This is nothing like she said. So it had to have happened after you met with him.
She was in good spirits when we talked to her. She was like the perky one. Like, she was nice enough that it distracted me from the spiders.
Do I need to go out in the middle of the wilderness again?
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
What? Why?
They literally posted my picture in the newspaper.
Oh, I have spots. I have them all over. If you need a spot to like lie low, like I got dens all over the place.
Yeah, but if she's that far away and we need her in a moment's notice, we're not going to be able to get to her. I'll just order DoorDash for a couple weeks. We'll just hunker down. The two of us
Okay.
close together is going to be better than you off and God knows where, untouchable. Plus, can't build your army without you.
True. Okay. Cabin fever it is.
Can we undo the damage with Mia?
I have no idea. That's going to take some looking into. Like, we have a general idea of what they are capable of, but we need to delve into that a lot more to know what we're getting ourselves into.
Be honest with me, Aspen. How much of a chance do they have?
Honestly, I'm in uncharted territory, so I don't know.
Tell me when you know.
I will.
Before it's too late for Artie's backup plan to go off and get them out.
Yeah, I absolutely will. I'm gonna try my best, and maybe Joseph, you know more than I do, and maybe you could get more information about vampires.
I mean, I know some old stories. I could. I mean, if I go, I may be able to get home quick if I take the risky road.
I mean, if you want to go home, maybe you could take Jester with you. It might get her out of town
I
for a little
mean,
bit.
there are plenty of places to hide there.
But then that's two of you gone.
Yeah, that's my concern. Though we could be.
I don't know with Aiden's news on
Yeah,
this
we can't
cult,
go anywhere.
these Fenris people. I don't think we should leave.
One
We
of
got
them
lucky
definitely
we
saw
pulled
my
off-
face.
We got lucky we pulled off Oregon, honestly. Like, we must have gotten just within that window before they got here. I'll know for sure after I get the rental lease agreement on that spot, but if they arrived
So-
either while we were gone or since we got back, we got lucky. Because they could have moved already and done a lot of fucking damage while we were gone.
So how else can we find out about vampires?
I can make a couple phone calls. If someone
You-
else wants to,
You hear an
Someone else could
obvious
probably talk-
thud of something hitting the ground in the other room.
Eliza?
Oh, what? Do you need me out there for something?
I mean, we could use your wisdom again. Even though if it's not too much trouble and we're not putting, too much pressure on you with all our questions as ignorant children.
Wisdom my ass, Silver Tongue. You might as well just call me Google. What
Which
do you
is
need?
why
She kind
I
of
didn't
shuffles her way
ask.
out. I haven't had the displeasure of crossing paths with a lot of leeches in my day. Luckily, I managed to avoid them. Perhaps they just saw me as unnecessary. Nothing worth being troubled over. But I talked to a lot of other guru who did before the can fell. Take this for what it's worth. More stories from an old woman. But there are a vast variety of things that the leeches can do. They can move quickly. They're very strong. But one of their specialties is manipulation. If they were as strong as us, we wouldn't have had a fight to begin with them. That's kind of our upper hand until she came. If they got into her brain, which from all accounts they did, could have been for a moment, could have been just for the purposes of making the confession, could be. They changed her mind entirely, and what she said is what she believes, regardless of what it's true. Just depends on how powerful that particular individual is. And I can tell you this, they were here before. This Bateman has been here a long time. So it's quite likely you're dealing with a rather well-connected, well-positioned, and powerful vampire. But what they would do, how much effort they were willing to put into it, this could have just been a show. And I hate to say it, and please forgive me, Jester, your friend Mia may already be dead, having served her purpose. But if they consider it leverage, I'd like to think she's still alive. But this is what they do. They get the use out of something and they discard it. They make it disappear. Sometimes, if the use is endless, if they can find a constant source, they either enthrall it, making it a servitor of sorts, or they make it like them. So the question is, which of these happened? Because it's likely one of them. But there are too many possibilities to count, just like there are too many stars in the sky. We won't know until we have our hands on her. We have her in front of us, and we can see for ourselves. Unfortunately, it's not that easy, now is it?
No, but Aspen has an in. And Joseph went with her last time as, what, an aide?
Yeah, but if she's confessed to this level of crime, would they have moved her to a more secure facility?
True.
Could also be that they manipulated her into changing legal counsel. She's no longer represented by Miss Weiss, and
Unless
therefore
they
the
want us to come back.
access will be restricted, unless they want to bait, yes.
How do we beat someone like this? Every move we make, they counter it with something stronger and 6 moves ahead.
They've been doing it a long time. They've experienced and encountered foes like us, weaker, stronger, a vast variety. The way you beat them is to do something unexpected, something they didn't plan for, something that they weren't prepared for, or to catch them off guard in some fashion. The way we win is when we get the drop on them, the surprise. You talked about Ryder and waiting. He wasn't wrong, but also was he entirely right? Because it could have been a trap as well, and the same result would have happened regardless. You're not going to beat them with time. They have the edge up on time. They have the edge up in politics, in business. What they don't have the edge up on, and she kind of holds up a finger and whirls it around, they don't have them. They don't have her. They don't have the Umbra. There's a lot that we have if we know how to use it.
How can we use the Umbra to fight them?
Well,
It's a back
Joseph,
door. Oh, we can
Everything.
travel in it.
everything is made of spirits also. You befriend or at least get a conversation with the spirits close to them. You get information.
Yeah.
Reconnaissance.
I mean, Artie has already shown us talking to machine spirits. They use machines for everything. We could tap their lines. We could listen to their conversations with the spiders. We could talk to the plants outside of their house. We could listen to the birds.
But you're going to have to make friends with them. They've been slaves to the dominion of leeches for a very long time. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's some resentment. You think grandmother's angry. Imagine the spirits that live right next door to them.
There's gonna be ghosts everywhere too.
When we were in the stadium, I managed to convince a few of the spiders to heal Joseph, or at least get the water out of his lungs when he was drowning. Maybe if we could find them, they could help us convince the others.
You're persuasive. That works on spirits too. I can tell you about them. I can give you some etiquette, but
Also,
Galliards,
Artie speaks that those are spirits of order and fixing things. They're spirits of the Weaver. They're not going to convince anyone of anything. They are going to do a task. They are going to repair something that's broken. What you convinced them of was that Joseph was broken and needed to be fixed.
Okay.
They are much like machines of order, of structure.
but if we understand that,
That's
we could
what
use
I'm
that to our advantage. Yeah, we
That's
can
what I'm
get.
starting to get. We got to figure out how their spirits, the spirits connected to them, operate and what they go off. And if we can use that to gain their aid, it could work.
But just as there are spirits of order and good, there are also spirits created by their dastardly deeds. Spirits that are going to banes. There will be banes aplenty around the leeches.
Sounds like a fight.
Could be. But if these
Though-
spirits are a projection of what made them, and we're dealing with potentially very powerful vampires, they could have some equally powerful, if not more powerful, banes.
They're going to draw strong corruption, strong pain, strong fear. But they'll also leave damage behind them that they're not going to see. And we could get, I hate to say it, but some of the ghosts they leave behind, we could talk to. We could get them to help us too, give us info. We'll just have to spend more time in the Umbra. And we'll need a guide for that.
Star would be a guide, right?
Comes full circle.
So I guess our first step is asking Star if she'd want to be our patron. And apparently a lot of training. Ugh.
And continuing to ask
Montage.
Ryder not to kill shit. And to maybe be in the know to a certain degree.
Get a group text going, and once every 2 days, we'll put in there, Ryder, don't kill anything.
I do have his number.
See, he can join our Discord or something.
Would he be any use in the Umbra? Especially if these Banes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we were all useful in the Umbra. Fighting is fighting, even on that side. And he probably can't blow up a major building. I mean, kind of. But it'd be harder in the Umbra, I think. The spiders are stronger there.
So, with many paths laid out before us, many questions for the time being answered, we bring this portion and this scene of our story to a close. We transition to downtown Tampa, on a street with buildings like many others. A stocky, muscular, curly-haired woman moves with a very predatorial stance and a power, a thrumming power that can be felt from any that encounter her. As she stands on the street, a very, very nice automobile pulls up. A luxury antique of a car pulls up. The window rolls down. You know we have bigger problems than them right now. There's an anarch uprising happening across the bay. Shouldn't you focus your attention more on that? She kind of scoffs. I could squash anarchs any day. There's no challenge in that. It's boring, tedious. No, I've been waiting for this for a decade. It's time we have some more fun again. You take care of the anarch problem. Me and my boys will take care of Tampa. The window on the car rolls up, and the luxury car drives away. There's the sound of breaking glass, and a moment later, another individual, looking like some sort of scrawny street punk, comes out and passes a piece of paper to Mary. She looks over it, folds it up, and sticks it in her jacket. As they walk away, we see the name of this particular facility, this particular business that they found themselves in front of. And the copper plate words, Hart and Associates, can be seen on the outside of the building. And that is where we will bring this session to a close. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. Go follow St. Pete by Night on all social media to stay up to date on the latest happenings in and around St. Pete by Night. This week we've got so many shows happening. Thursday, Don't Get Caught. You can keep up with that Anarch Coterie and see how they are handling their situation. Friday, we've got Hunter the Reckoning with What the Hell Is That? Saturday, we have a very special After Dark where we have Caffeinatrix the Storyteller visiting us, who's going to give us a sneak peek to her upcoming chronicle. Then Sunday, the next episode of Bloody Strings with our lovely Nori as Bellatrix the Malkavian. And then we'll be back again on Tuesday with the next episode of Rage Across Tampa. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, go follow these amazing players on their social medias, and we will see you next week. Have a good night, everyone.